I am so sorry to all of my Dynasty fans watching, but what's up everybody, ATP here, and today we have some interesting Overwatch League news to cover, as it was announced by the Seoul Dynasty late last night that JJonak will be taking a break from the league, which means that he is now officially off of Seoul without even playing a single game for them. Before continuing, I just wanted to quickly make it known that I only woke up like an hour ago, so forgive me if I say something dumb or inaccurate, but anyway, that's aside from the point. JJonak is out of the league, which is just very depressing news to wake up to, whether you're a Seoul fan or just a general fan of this league. But obviously for Seoul fans, it does hit a little bit harder due to the fact that he was supposed to be their starting flex support and everything, and that definitely does leave some question marks about what's going to happen moving forward, but we'll talk about that a bit later. For now, I wanted to talk about JJonak's reasoning behind this departure. On Seoul's part of things, they explained that JJonak just needs to take some time away from professional play for personal reasons. There's no bad blood between them or anything, it's just a thing that JJonak needs to take care of, and upon looking into JJonak's profile, he further explains what the issue is. According to JJonak, he decided to take a break because of a long-term health issue that recently got worse, so kind of like an Exy situation in a way, and unfortunately he feels that he just doesn't have what it takes because of said health issues to perform well for the Dynasty and give the fans something to be proud of, so he's taking a break and he's going to do some live streaming in the meantime. There has yet to be any sort of update on whether or not JJonak could end up returning at some point down the line this season, so as of right now, I'm just going to assume that we likely will not have him for Season 5. And that is a real bummer for a multitude of reasons. I mean, thinking about it from a general fan standpoint, JJonak has been in the league since Season 1. He's one of the OG players, one of the OG superstars, one of the most important players to the history of the game, arguably, so carrying on without him, at least for the time being, is pretty depressing news. A league without JJonak just feels so weird, and incredibly wrong for that matter. I don't like it at all. But at the end of the day, I respect JJonak's decision, and he definitely needs to do what's right for him. It's not fair to the team, it's not fair to himself to keep on pushing himself when he's clearly not ready for it. I'd rather him take some time to get better from whatever it is he's dealing with, that way he could end up returning to the league one day, rather than him just never coming back, you know? Do what Exy, and I guess even Striker to a certain extent did. Take the time you need, man. I mean, seriously, there's no rush in trying to get better, because we all know he's talented enough to make it back into this league, and the moment that he is ready, I'm sure a team will come knocking on his door, if not multiple teams. I love JJonak, and I'm really bummed out that he's not going to be with us, at least for the time being, but we have to carry on, as we have through a lot of bad news throughout the last year or so. Speaking of carrying on, I'm sure that the Dynasty fans out there are a bit concerned, and I think it's natural to feel that way, and I think it's very understandable as well, because this is not some ordinary loss. JJonak may not be like the most dominant flex support in the world like he used to be, but he's still a world-class player who is very capable of taking over a game and just being a great leader on a team that desperately needs extra firepower. Flex support was one of the positions I was hoping Seoul would upgrade, so when JJonak did arrive to the team, I was very excited. I thought this was the beginning of something very special potentially for the Seoul team, since they also signed Smurf and Stalker, and just they had a really good looking roster in general, but now there's definitely some question marks about flex support and what they're going to do moving forward. As of right now, you'd have to assume that Creative is the guy, but they might end up signing somebody later down the line. As for who that might be, I have no idea. Your guess is as good as mine, because the simple fact of the matter remains that right now the flex support market is obviously pretty dry due to the fact that we are so deep into the offseason. This might have to be a mid-season acquisition, as they do scouting on potential prospects during the upcoming Korean contender season. Unless JJonak were to come back like mid-season, let's say, I am going to assume that Creative will be the full-time starter for this entire year, and let me make it known now that I don't think of Creative as like a terrible player. He really has shown some great flashes throughout the years, but he's obviously not at the level of JJonak, and I don't know if he ever will be. Like, this is a clear-cut downgrade in my eyes. I mean, there's some things that Creative may be a little bit better on, but JJonak, in my opinion, takes the cake on most things, as he's just a stronger overall mechanical player. So yeah, that's a real bummer if you're a Seoul fan. That's a bunch of playmaking potential that you're losing out on, and I also think that JJonak in general just seemed to be fitting in well with the team based off of clips I've seen scene. He's getting along with Prophet and Smurf and whatnot very well. So all of this just really sucks, you know? There's no other way to really describe it. I feel super bad for all of you who support this team. But in a way, we're all kind of taking an L in that regard. I mean, Seoul fans are, the team as a whole, but also general fans of the league, especially ones who have been fans long term, because JJonak is one of the most influential pieces the league has ever known, you know? Like, this is tough for everybody, and it's going to feel very awkward going forward without him. The only thing that us fans can really do now at this point is pray that JJonak does return to us one day, whether it be at some point during Season 5, like mid to late season, or during Season 6. Whenever it may be, I just hope that he takes the time that he needs to recover from whatever the heck that he's dealing with. I pray that the league can keep on moving forward without feeling too sad, and the same goes for Seoul fans. Hopefully everything turns out okay for you guys despite this loss. It certainly will be more difficult now for Seoul to find the success that they envisioned during the offseason, but at the very least they still have a pretty decent team overall. It's just that concern at flex support right now, so let's see where things go. This is basically what makes or breaks a team, you know? How strong their mental is, how well do they respond to adversity and whatnot. This is a big time test for the Dynasty, and I'm curious to see how they do. But until then, that's basically where I'm going to conclude this discussion for today. This is some really tough news to start the day off with, especially for all of my American friends out there who are essentially waking up to this news. I'm really sorry, I felt the same way. It's pretty brutal, but we'll keep carrying onward. However, despite all of the recent losses and drama and whatnot with broadcast talent negotiations and everything, we are supposedly getting some good news about the Overwatch League with some sort of announcement later today. So if you want to know what's happening, if you want to break down for me personally, be sure to hit that subscribe button and enable the bell icon so you know exactly when the video goes up. And if you enjoy my news coverage, be sure to hit that like button and make sure to let me know what you think of this JJonak situation down in the comments below. And until next time, this is ATP, signing out. Peace.